Ending a comedy special is not possible, and here's why. The comedy special, 1 hour of material or 20 minutes material, is not 1 hour of material. It is actually multiple small stories that have ended multiple times leading up to a final ending, which has nothing to do with the first time of the first completely different story that was told at minute 10. Now we're at minute 60, and I have to tell another story, and it ends very abruptly. Think about it like this. The Bible, okay? The Bible is not a big book. You might be like, oh, the Bible is a huge book. What are you talking about? The Bible is a compilation of multiple books. New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, Galatians, Ephesians. I can keep going, okay? The Bible is not big. It's a compilation of many small books, all right? In the exact way that that's true, so is a comedy special in the aspect that it is one segment of many short stories, okay? By the time that you've heard the last conclusion at the very ending, you've already heard multiple endings of multiple different stories, which is why it's always abrupt. You know, ending a comedy special, okay, unless you're telling one story for like an 8-minute period or a 5-minute period or 6-minute, however many minutes, right? And that's all you say, it will have one ending. Typically, okay, in every story, novel, etc., fill in the blank, right? There's only one ending. In comedy, there are multiple endings because it is multiple short stories. If I said, I'm going to tell you a story about an ex-girlfriend, something that I noticed about when you shop in public, my thoughts on traffic jams, how life is like UFC every single day, right? Ultimate Fighting Championship. If I told you 5 completely unconnected things, each of those 5 unconnected things are all going to have 5 separate endpoints, right? Nobody typically gives a lecture, okay, at a concert hall or something like that on 5 completely different, unrelated topics. Comedy does that every single time, right? Unless, that's why they literally call it a set of material. At least in the comedy world, that's what they call it. They call it sets. How many sets is in your new hour or is in your 20-minute segment of material? Oh, I have 4 sets. It'll be like, 2 4-minute, an 8-minute, and then maybe like, another 4 or something like that, right? But anyway, so yeah, that's what's always so interesting about this guy, Jimmy Carr. Look up Jimmy Carr. He is one of my favorite comedians, and a lot of times people say that someone is their favorite because they are similar to that individual. That's why they like them. That's why they like that UFC fighter. That's why they like that rapper, right? Or whatever, right? Again, I am not similar in style at all. I really appreciate this guy's craft, and all he does is one-liners. That's it. Okay? The interesting thing is if storytelling in the form of stand-up comedy has multiple endings in every 5 or 6 minute segment of material, completely different story, which, by the way, is the magic of the segue, the transition from how do you get from talking about bananas at a baseball stadium to riding a bicycle in a park, right? The segue is also part of an art and craft all on its own because it's the magic information and input and the material that you've thought of, right, that transitions from one completely different topic to a completely different topic. It's beautiful. But again, I'm getting detailed. I don't want to digress too much. But anyway, going back, Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr, all he does is one-liners. So if in a standard comedy special, there's going to be 12 different endings of 12 different stories told in the course of 1 hour, all right? Jimmy Carr literally only has all he says is one-liners. So there's like hundreds or whatever of endings. Each joke lasts between like 12 seconds to like a minute. And It is amazing. I went to actually go see him in Dallas, Texas. I thought it was one of the most, in my opinion, he is one of the, if not the best one-liner guy ever. And that's hard to say because, you know, there's these guys like uh, one of my all-time favorites ever, Ronnie Dangerfield. One-liners. That's all he did, right? It's a beautiful art. And I actually, in dedication to Rodney and a little nod in his direction to Jimmy and my new 1 hour that I'm working on now, I actually have multiple one-liners, but it's just something to give them a nod because they're perfectly placed, they work, they hit hard, and they're great. But I actually have them grouped together in sections so you notice that it's actually, you know, punchline, joke, punchline, joke. But yeah, what's so brilliant about this guy is that when I went to his show in Dallas, for the first 2 minutes, it was a PowerPoint and he wasn't even on stage. And he was killing. Everyone was just rolling over laughing. It was completely ridiculous. And this guy is such a great joke writer that he has the ability to make everybody laugh hysterically in a PowerPoint, giving instructions about not taking out your cell phone, no flash recording, no flash picture taking, video, whatever. I mean, he's also really great at improvising and calling out people and just thinking on his feet. It was one of the most brilliant performances that I've ever seen, not just in the aspect of his writing, and you could clearly tell it from the PowerPoint presentation. It was 2 minutes of hilarious stand-up comedy, and you're just sitting there reading it. He isn't even on stage, right? And then towards the end of the show, he does like roasting people, and it's all improvised, and none of it's written out. And he just freestyled like jokes on everybody, and it's hilarious. He calls people out in the crowd. He asks for hecklers. If you get a chance, you should. He actually just has a new 1 hour that just came out. So look up Jimmy Carr. I promise you, he's amazing. But anyway, the reason I'm addressing this topic is because I wrote a new 1 hour last year, towards the end of the year, and all the way through yeah, it was done before January. So, and I'm about halfway vetting through it, and I'm always adding and subtracting and taking away material because I only want what's best, plain and simple. And that's what really a comedy special should be. It should be special. I believe in consistency, but I also believe in the highest quality product. The good thing is, I've been writing for so long, I have so much material and stories and diversity and everything. That's the easy part. So now I'm really just whittling down this last hour. It's the best stuff I've ever written. I'm excited about it. And I feel like the very ending at the end of the hour, at the 60-minute mark, I think it's closer to like 62 or 64 minutes to be more precise. It's epic. I think it's epic, but it has nothing to do with how I start my material, right? Actually, nothing but it kind of does, but that's one stylistic change that I'm actually trying to do different with my comedy. I'm trying to have, instead of, if you can imagine, and I know you can, how taking everything I described, how comedians are always talking about multiple different topics. They do that for people's attention span. They do that to keep you constantly engaged and entertained and, you know, get your attention, right? But I'm kind of in the process of trying to have even longer sets with fewer topics, even to the point of having one material that's all about one topic, right? And it's all storytelling. And it'll take twists and turns, but my goal is to have it be more cinematic in the aspect that it has one beginning and one end, with a lot of stories that are all interconnected in between. It'll be beautiful. Now, that is not the set that I'm doing right now, but it is the set which is in progress, in duration, to get to that other set at a later date. So right now I'm still working on bridging larger sections and bodies of material together, and doing like 12-minute sets, and then 15-minute sets. So it'd be like 4, 5, maybe even 6 different topics of material instead of like 12, which is already like twice as long as most people do per topic, you know, as far as minutes go, and fewer sets that most individuals do at the highest level. So anyway, but yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share that because there was a story that I don't have an ending to, and then I just thought of a great way to end it. And then I also realized that you know, whenever you get off stage and you end that last joke, there's not one comedian you can ever find where someone doesn't just think like, well, that was abrupt. You're correct. It was abrupt because it is the first ending of a joke that does not have a segue, a transition to something else. You're being conditioned to hear the ending of a story and having another one open up directly after it. Well, there's no opening after that last bit of material. So anyway, but yeah, hopefully, I know it'll work, but I'm excited about everything. And it's fun to share for those of you that are listening and stuff. I have a lot going on, and I'm excited about it. And if you've listened up to this point, just know I appreciate you. And you will be able to say that you heard this before much bigger things happen in the background. And then this podcast will grow exponentially. And that's just a matter of formula. That's just a matter of science, you know, having media attention and high quality, and then combining those factors together. You get more heard, you get more known, and stuff go up. It doesn't mean that something is more popular. I mean, the quality is higher just because more people know about it, but it does, it's kind of like proof of purchase. You know what I mean? It does show that, you know, if you can get certain numbers, well, then you probably have a high quality product, you know? So anyway, well, y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.